Hi, my name is Jeannie, and the topic for today is going to be about love. And the purpose that I'm having this episode is because I will be introducing later on a cousin of mine. Her name is Love, and she introduced me to the practice. And she is sort of a life coach, a facilitator, so she helps, but she is really good with advising me on relationships and being a she's also a Buddhist. She's also a Nichiren Buddhist, and there's so many wisdom, or there's so much wisdom she was able to impart on me with regards to my, my love life and things that she has helped me with. It's just amazing. So I will do that on another video. I will interview her pretty soon, and but this video is about the topic of love. What is love in Nichiren Buddhism? And I have gotten this article from sgi.org, and it was written by Sensei Ikeda. So he teaches us what love is in Nichiren Buddhism, because Nichiren Buddhists, we believe our philosophy is that we are beings that are already whole and complete. So we are our own person, and to have someone else in our life means that someone isn't exactly going to complete us, but more like someone is going to contribute to our life to make it better. And then the purpose of all Nichiren Buddhists, we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo to be happy, and also we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo to be happy in relationships. And no matter what aspects of your life you're struggling with, may it be relationships, finances, work, health, we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo in order to be happy. It doesn't mean that we don't experience hardship. In my case, I've experienced heartache or heartaches several times already, and like, but why do I still have this capacity to love people and to be in a romantic relationship and to be in a romantic partnership? It's because I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo that I'm able to take a look at myself and look at what's not working in my life, and to look at it from a higher perspective and a different point of view. So I'm just going to share this because this is very important, especially in relation to the next video that I'm going to have, which is when I'm going to be interviewing my cousin, and she will have her own YouTube page eventually and her podcast. So according to Daisaku Ikeda, love should be a force that helps you expand your life and bring forth your innate potential with fresh and dynamic vitality. That is the ideal, but as the saying, love is blind, illustrates, people often lose all objectivity when they fall in love. And yeah, I've been here before. I've been here many times actually. I just don't see the bigger picture. I fall in love and I dive head in, all in, and then it usually, in my case, it has not worked out. But I'm chancing right now that eventually I will look at the relationship that I'm in with objectivity. And so far, I feel that I have changed my karma because I'm not as clingy and as attached I am in my current relationship right now. In fact, I'm like not afraid to lose the person, which is kind of weird if you think about it, because before I was like, oh, this person's gonna leave me, this person's gonna hurt my heart, and like, but having gone through so many heartaches, I actually realized that I'm stronger than I think. And we always fall forward in a way, like we fail forward. So we may have failures in our relationships, failures in our lives, but it doesn't mean that we should stop there. It means what can I do differently? What did I learn from that relationship? So it says here, love is blind. Yeah, I used to have that philosophy before that, oh, I'm gonna love the person no matter what, whatever their flaws. It's good, but you also have to look at it objectively. Like, does this person share the same values that I have? Does this person see me as a long-term partner? Does this person see this relationship as a long-term partnership? Because if you lose that objectivity and you go all in and you fall in love with someone and you're not on the same page, you're just going to end up heartbroken. I'm not guaranteeing that even if you are on the same page that you're not going to be heartbroken. It's when you fall in love, that will always be a given. It will always be a possibility that you will have your heart broken. Doesn't mean that you should stop. Doesn't mean that you should give up relationships. If being in a relationship is really what you want, it just means examine yourself. Look within yourself what you did that you want to change in the current relationship that you're in, or the future relationships that you're in. So if you are neglecting the things you should be doing, forgetting your purpose in life because of the relationship you're in, then you're in the wrong path. A healthy relationship is one in which two people encourage each other to reach their respective goals while sharing each other's hopes and dreams. Our relationship should be a source of inspiration, invigoration, and hope. So I'm guilty of this one. I was in a long-term relationship and I built my life around that guy. I became a doormat actually. I did things for him that I normally wouldn't do. I gave up my dignity, like gave up my entire life for this dude, and what happened, he devalued me and still left me for someone else. So that was really eye-opening, and of course, being human, I was so depressed. I was like, really, to tell you the truth, I was even like suicidal. I had suicidal thoughts because I placed too much value on that relationship, and when that relationship ended, I felt that my happiness was with that person, and when he was gone, I felt that I didn't deserve to be happy anymore. But looking back and through chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, I was able to, which is a miracle actually. I would never have thought that I would be in this life state or life condition of just saying this, but that was the best thing that ever happened to me. The person leaving me and devaluing me was the best thing that ever happened in my life, because it made me realize, like, I have to look within. Why am I attracting people that devalue me, that do not treat me with respect, and are not loyal to me, and are not afraid to hurt me because they don't respect me? So it really took a lot of chanting Daimoku, and also a lot of work on myself, and I also hired life coaches as well. I'm not just saying that chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna be like happy overnight. It's not like that. It's chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo with a determination of what am I not seeing? What should I be doing differently next time? And it's always that self-reflection, like what is in me that has attracted these types of relationships in my life. And a relationship should be a source of inspiration, invigoration, and hope. And I always have this philosophy in life that we should always be the best version of ourselves, and we should bring up the best person of the other person as well, like the best version of them as well. It's not all about you, but having said that, it doesn't mean that you have to drag them along as well. They have to be internally motivated as well, and you have to ask as well, like, if you're in a relationship and where you're doing all the work, is it a relationship that you think will lead you to be happy in the long term? So it's always asking yourself, like, how do you feel inside? What can you do differently? Is this relationship working, or should I move on? Or how can I make it work? So it's always like analyzing, evaluating, and just looking within, and of course chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Love is a complex matter that is a reflection of each person's attitude and philosophy toward life. That is why I believe people should get involved in relationships lightly. Yeah, so relationships take work, it takes effort, and it's also valuing yourself, valuing the other person, and also choosing the right person for you as well. But that takes wisdom and experience, and of course you will make a lot of mistakes. That's a given, and that's okay. We fail forward, so to speak. So the bottom line is that without respect, no relationship will last for very long, nor will two people be able to bring out the best in each other. So yeah, looking back in my long-term relationship, I was the only one working on it. I did encourage that person to chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, and that person did eventually chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. But with regards to that person continuing to be the best version of themselves, I think he stopped doing that, and I think that was one of the reasons why the relationship didn't work out in the long term, aside from other stuff, of course. So rather than becoming so love-struck that you create a world where only the two of you exist, it is much healthier to learn from those aspects of your partner that you respect and admire, and to continue to make efforts to improve and develop yourself. So Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, the author of The Little Prince, once wrote, "Love is not two people gazing at each other, but two people looking ahead together in the same direction. It follows that relationships last longer when both partners share similar values and beliefs." So values, like what do you value as a person? Do you value self-improvement? And do you share at least similar beliefs? Does the person believe in being loyal? Does the person believe in lifetime long-term partnerships? Because maybe it's just a short-term partnership, who knows? Furthermore, please don't succumb to the view that love is the be-all and the end-all, deluding yourself that as long as you're in love, nothing else matters. Nor, I hope, will you buy into the misguided notion that sinking ever deeper into painful and destructive relationship is somehow cool. Yeah. All too often when a relationship ends, the great passion it once inspired seems nothing more than an illusion. The things you learn through studying, on the other hand, are much more permanent, and it is important, therefore, that you never extinguish the flame of your intellectual curiosity. So I guess it's always improving, always growing, and if you're in a relationship, it's most of the time it always starts great. It's like, oh, this is great. You have a honeymoon period. Everything's wonderful, but we all know that that's only temporary, and it's also not good that you are staying in a relationship that is painful and destructive. That's not the purpose of relationships. The purpose of relationships is to be happy. Because if you are not happy, you cannot be the best version of yourself, and you cannot be the person that will inspire other people, and also your partner as well. So you have to have that same value. Far too many people nip their own brilliant promise in the bud because of their blind pursuit of love, and that's me before. Although my ex before was allowing me to do things, I felt that my world revolved too much around him, and I actually I belittled myself. I made myself smaller, just so I could make him happy. But it doesn't work. I know it sounds cliche, but you cannot find happiness until you find it from within. Because the thing is, you will use other people to be the source of your happiness, and they're temporary. And I know it's hard, and it's actually hard for me to be able to get to this point where I'm like, okay, if this relationship doesn't work out, and I've done my best, I'll just move on to maybe the next better relationship. It's hard because I'm one of those people that I don't like to give up, but sometimes if you're not happy in a relationship, you should just not stay in that relationship. And but saying that is only after you've exhausted everything, like all means to make yourself happy, and you've done your best to make the relationship work. But if it is a toxic relationship, I think it's better that it should not last long. So much of daily life tends to be ordinary and unexciting, making steady efforts day to day can be trying. It's not always going to be fun, but when you fall in love, life seems filled with drama and excitement. You feel like the leading character in a novel. But if you lose yourself in love just because you're bored and consequently veer from the path you should be following, then love is nothing more than escapism. What you are doing is retreating into a dream world, what is only an illusion is actually believing that what is only an illusion is actually real. Even if you try to use love as an escape, the fact is that the euphoria is unlikely to last for long. If anything, you may only find yourself with even more problems along with a great deal of pain and sadness. However much you may try, you can never run away from yourself. If you remain weak, suffering will only follow you wherever you go. You will never find happiness if you don't change yourself from within. Happiness is not something that someone else, like a lover for instance, can give to you. You have to achieve it for yourself, and the only way to do this is by developing your own character and capacity as a human being, by fully maximizing your potential. If you sacrifice your own growth and talent for love, you absolutely not find happiness. True happiness is obtained through fully realizing your own potential. So I'm just saying that love, according to Nichiren Buddhism, it should be about two people that are empty and like half of themselves. Ideally, it should be about two people that are already whole and complete, coming together and being a contribution to each other's lives, like making that person's life better, making each other's lives better, and being a contribution and not being a drag. And looking back, hindsight is always 2020. Looking back, I realized that I gave up too much of myself. I devalued myself, disrespected myself for the sake of love, and thinking that I wasn't whole and complete without that other person. And when the other person left, I felt like there was no purpose to my life, because I felt that my happiness was with that person, you know. But I realized that I was looking at it in a wrong perspective. We should always strive to be happy, because our partners will never be able to make us happy. And when the relationship doesn't end well, or when the relationship ends, you will find yourself that you are not as devastated, because you know that you did what you could to make things work. And okay, so I would also like to add that to embark on a relationship as an escape from something is extremely disrespectful to both your partner and yourself. So never use other people, because you are insecure and you need outside validation. Like people are like, oh, I have a husband, therefore I must be this and that. My husband makes me feel good about myself. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about being in a partnership where you're lifting each other up and not using each other as a means to boost your ego. So therefore, if you are in a relationship, you are whole and complete, but that's completely a different way of looking at it. It's not the Nichiren Buddhist way. So each of us, we have a precious mission that only we can fulfill. And to neglect one's mission and seek out only personal pleasure is a sign of selfishness. It is impossible for an egotistic, self-centered individual to truly love another person. So it should be about, how can I contribute to this relationship? How can I, as a being that's whole and complete, make a contribution to another person's life? How can we make each other's lives better and expand more? So on the other hand, if you genuinely love someone, then through your relationship with them, you can develop into a person whose love extends to all humanity. Such a relationship serves to strengthen, elevate, and enrich the inner realm of your life. Ultimately, the relationships you form are a reflection of your own state of life. The same is true of friendship. Only to the extent that you polish yourself now can you hope to develop wonderful bonds of the heart in the future. So a relationship should also be able to contribute to society as a whole, or maybe just your family as well, you know. They get inspired by you. Maybe both of you will be able to contribute to society. To cite one example in the real world, it's Bill and Melinda Gates. So that is a partnership right there, where husband and wife are actually working with each other to make the world a better place in their own way. Like they have one of the biggest nonprofit organizations, and they're helping children from third world countries, and they're really being a contribution to society. So they have found their mission, and they have found it together. So it is really possible to be in a relationship with someone where the both of you are just thinking about contributing to the rest of the world, you know. And if you can't achieve that, it's okay. It's also contributing to your family, you know, being a source of strength to your family members, or just encouraging them, inspiring them with your great relationship and partnership. So this one is really relevant to me. He said, we have this fear, Sensei Ikeda said that we have the fear of losing the other person. In that respect, love is like riding in a car with no brakes. Sometimes even if you want to get out, you can't. Even if you regret having gotten in, the car won't stop. In many cases, people get involved in a relationship thinking they are free and independent, but at some point they find they have become captive to the relationship. So speaking of this one, it's very pertinent. And important, because I actually have met a person. I've known a person, and she was a victim of domestic abuse for close to 20 years, and she has put her life and her love. She has devoted her life to her husband, who unfortunately did not treat her well. I think it's shocking, but she would get beaten up black and blue. And I think the worst one, when she actually got a traumatic brain injury, and she almost died. But the thing is, because she did not value her own life, she actually went back to her husband. And the only reason why she has survived is because the husband eventually died. Can you imagine, just devaluing yourself and disrespecting yourself so much, to think that you are so small and so insignificant that you would actually stay in a relationship, in an abusive relationship. And this is just physical abuse. There's other types of abuse, but I'm sure she was also abused emotionally and mentally. But to go back to that for 20 years, because you believe that that person was the holder of your, of your happiness, that without that person you are not free and complete and whole. And that's really sad because I know a lot of women, to a certain extent, maybe not this extreme, to a certain extent, they stay in relationships that are so toxic to the point that they even die or are near death. And that is what happened to this person that I know personally. And we asked her, or I asked her, why did you stay? And she said she loved him. But that's it, loving someone else, but then not loving and valuing yourself. So each one of us is infinitely precious. So that's why we have to treat ourselves with utmost respect. Don't follow a path that will cause you suffering, but take the road that is best for your well-being. The truth is, ideal love is fostered only between two sincere, mature, and independent people. It is essential, therefore, that you work on polishing yourself first. So, yeah, it's really important that, as I said, you get into a relationship that you are already, you know who you are, that you know what you stand for, and you go into a relationship with both of your eyes open, and you know what you're getting yourself into. So real love is not two people clinging to each other. It can only be fostered between two strong people, secure in their individuality. A shallow person will only have shallow relationships. If you want to experience real love, it is important to first sincerely develop a strong self-identity. True love is not about doing whatever the other person wants you to do or pretending you're something you're not. If someone genuinely loves you, they will not force you to do anything against your will, nor embroil you in some dangerous activity. And I know someone, again, personally, it's kind of sad, who actually has such a low self-esteem. She actually, when you talk to her, she thinks that, she's the best, like, she's wonderful, but it's all self-talk. But you can actually see in her actions that she has gotten involved with this person who's a drug addict, and eventually she became a drug addict herself because she just believes that without this guy she is nothing, she will not be happy. And so therefore right now, so she's addicted to drugs because she has, again, devalued and disrespected her own life, which is not what Nichiren Buddhism is about. Nichiren Buddhism is about treating not just yourself, but other people with value. But first, you have to start with yourself as well, valuing yourself. So please have the confidence and fortitude to think to yourself when you face rejection. It's their loss if they can appreciate how wonderful I am. This is a kind of resilient spirit you must strive to cultivate. And it's kind of strange, but I'm already here. I'm like, okay, so that person doesn't want me. Okay, let's move on to the next. Because as Sensei said, I don't know if this is in the same article, but he said that, there's hundreds and thousands of people, and are you really sure, that person is the only one for you that can be the source of your happiness or can make you happy, or, is the one. The thing is, what I discovered recently is that there's a lot of people that really desire happy and healthy relationships. There literally are dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of people. They're really looking for love and they're looking for partnerships. But if you go into a relationship thinking that that person is the one, what if that person is just one of the persons that can be a good match for you? And there are other people that can also be a good match to you. And therefore you have that freedom to really choose which would expand your life more, because I always had that belief before that, oh, this person is the one. What if there is no one person? What if there's a multitude of people that are potentially a match for you, and it's you have then with your objectivity and wisdom, and of course following your heart as well, but with a heart that is using with your eyes wide open as well. What if there are dozens of people that can be the right match for you, and just limiting yourself to one person and then just saying that this person is the one, gotta make it work, or else like there's nothing for me. What if it's like, okay, it didn't work out, what did I learn from this relationship, what can I take from it moving on, and how can I expand myself more, and how can I go into another relationship having learned these things and making that next relationship the best relationship ever. So it's with having that mindset, and I never thought that I would even have this mindset, because I had the mindset of, oh, that guy was the source of my happiness, so my ex was the source of my happiness, he was, the one for me, he was, the only reason that I'm breathing, and I made my world, like I made him my world, and when he disappeared and he abandoned me and he became disloyal, I was taken aback. But as I said, I think that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it made me realize, like, oh my God, I did not value myself. I did not treat myself with respect. There were so many things that I allowed myself to stay small, to be small. But a person that will really truly love you will really love you for who you are, no matter what, and you don't have to pretend to be someone that you're not. And if ever you're dating right now and the person says like, oh, I don't really love and value you, or something like that, or shows to you that they don't value and love you, and maybe you're better off with someone who will value and respect you. So Nichiren Buddhism is it has a very different view of love. It's always about moving forward, and it's not about finding something outside of yourself to complete you, more like being a contribution to yourself and to other people. It's like a partnership. It's more mature way of looking at love. It's not the old romantic way, or the old paradigm, which is like, this person is the one, I will devote my entire life to this person, no matter what, to the point that I'm devaluing myself. So that's not what Nichiren Buddhism is about. Nichiren Buddhism believes in that each and everybody has, everyone has potential to be great, and therefore, if you have that potential to be great, to be a great person, you can also have that potential to create great relationships, and great lasting relationships too, and relationships that are a contribution to other people as well, maybe in terms of inspiring other people to be that source of stability or whatever, or even to contribute to society as a whole. So that's how we view relationships in Nichiren Buddhism. So that's it, and I will be posting that video where I am going to be interviewing my cousin. So she's going to talk about relationships, and she's really great, and that's why I'm sharing her to the rest of the world, because I believe that she has her own mission as well, which is to help people have empowering relationships, which is all connected to Nichiren Buddhism, empowerment, women empowerment, not just women empowerment, but empowering the other person as well. Maybe it be your husband, your wife, whatever, or your girlfriend, boyfriend. It's about empowering everybody. It's about creating a win-win situation for everybody. So thank you very much for listening, and If you want to ask questions, email me at homeofgenie@gmail.com. And if you're interested in reading my books, I have like fluffy romantic comedies. Go to www.homeofgenie.com. It's my website and has links to my books and my other works, because I don't just do YouTube, and I do other stuff as well. Thank you, and thank you for listening and watching. And do subscribe if you like this content.